Live from New York, it's the show that is not hiring Doc Rivers as our fourth panelist.
No, but he's going to consult for Brew's position to see what happens. See where it
First
goes.
things first. We start with the First Things First Bowl. It's the game and also the Monday show that we're trying to drive you towards. Broussard's Ravens versus Knicks Chiefs with me rooting from the parking lot. Ravens have Bon Jovi'd several playoff teams. Seen a million faces and they've rocked them all. I didn't even like that.
Yeah, okay, nobody did.
People from New Jersey loved it. They won 9 games against winning teams by more than 2 touchdowns. Wow. Texans, Browns.
That is wild.
Lions,
impressive.
I know. Also, I don't think they're worried about the NFC Championship. Like, oh, we beat them by a combined 46 points. All right, so do you want to go first here, Brew? Kick us off? Could the Chiefs actually get blown out?
Nick, I don't even hate to tell you this. It's on the table. It is on the table. And I assume you're going to say this, and you should. I know you do your homework. You probably know. Mahomes has only been blown out 4 times in his career. Did you know that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I did.
18 points by Buffalo in the year they were struggling. Remember, they were 3 and 4.
It happened twice in quick succession that year.
24 by Tennessee. I don't know how in the world that happened. 22 in the Super Bowl to Brady and the Buccaneers. And 15
this year
to Russell Wilson.
All it took was 5 turnovers.
Now, what is a blowout 2 touchdowns or more?
Sure.
Because I'm feeling like about 2 touchdowns. I'm feeling like about 2 touchdowns.
Wait, hold on.
Obviously, my official pick is going to be the Ravens.
Well, you say
but
obviously.
I'm
You
feeling
change
like,
Super Bowl picks like people change socks.
I've been with the Ravens all year. When you and Greg were like, Greg Jennings, who will be here later, we're like, nah, they're not even making the playoffs. I was with the Ravens.
That's right.
But here's the thing. This I feel like will be the Ravens' game plan. All right? Run the ball. Okay. The Chiefs are vulnerable against the run, as we saw with Buffalo. Run the ball, and the Ravens happen to be the best run game in the league. And you've got the most dangerous or unique runner in the league in Lamar Jackson. So run the ball, eat up clock, limit Mahomes' possessions, and then you got to get some stops. You get some, and that defense is capable of getting some stops. So when he does have the ball, get some stops.
Yeah.
So, and then, of course, Lamar throwing advantageously. And Lamar doesn't make a lot of turnovers, only 7 interceptions this year. And the Chiefs are high on turnovers. Only 6 teams have more turnovers.
No, during the regular season in particular, it was a disaster. In the first playoff game, they had 1 turnover. I didn't really care. It's when they were running. It was 40 seconds left in the game. Backup running back. But the turnover against Buffalo could have lost them the game.
Yes.
So
they had a lot of takeaways. And Baltimore and Scott gets a lot. They led the league, obviously, in takeaways.
And the Chiefs
there's a formula there. So I'm not, like I said, I'm feeling like about 2 touchdowns.
So all right, Wildes, you're going to have to keep me honest here. Because I was a little upset about the question when it was, is this possible? Now that Brew is leading the audience and us to believe it's not only possible, he thinks, but probable.
Is it probable?
It sounds like he's saying
made my
that they're going to get
score. I definitely got the Ravens winning.
It sounds like you're saying that they could lose by more than 10. That you think
for sure.
But then you're going to pick them to. Okay, so
it's definitely on the table.
So this is
a centerpiece.
And where I'm saying, this is where I'm saying, Wildes, keep me honest, because Wildes had a nice pep talk with me the other day that said I need to be less angry at times when we're talking about the Chiefs. And it's not that I'm angry. I'm just frustrated that I'm always right and no one listens. And so that causes frustration.
I was listening.
And this is disrespectful and it's ridiculous. So Brew was correct in the amount of times, but you can kind of segment the Mahomes era into 3 buckets if we could show it. So up until the Super Bowl against Brady,
pretty good,
they never got blown out. Forget the record. Just look at the 14-point blowout. The first time he ever got blown out was the Super Bowl against Brady. From that moment through their next 7 games, it happened 3 times. It was the Chiefs' version of a Super Bowl hangover, if you will. And then from once they got through it, since then it has happened once against a team that, dare I say, they had overlooked because they had beaten 16 straight times.
Division opponent.
But Brew, they were on, it was one of the longest winning streaks in NFL history against a division opponent.
They're not thinking about that.
Okay, well, I'm telling you, when no one,
they had nothing to do with those 16 games. Or
they did though. But no one on the Chiefs had ever lost to the Broncos, and they turned the ball over 5 times. I don't think that's going to be their mindset going into this game. Now, I want to be very clear here. I do not think the Chiefs will blow out the Ravens, because if we can show it to you now, the Chiefs and Ravens have something in common. They never get blown out. So this is over the last 50-some games. The Chiefs and Ravens are the 2 teams in the league that it's only happened to once. But this is where I get frustrated, Wildes.
All right.
Brew's right when he says you don't win the Super Bowl every year. That is correct. But here is what does happen every year. The Chiefs' season starts in the AFC Championship Game.
That's right.
And an awful year, the worst imaginable year, they go 0-1 with an overtime heartbreaking loss. Mediocre, disappointing years, they go 1-1. And the other years, they go 2-0, and they celebrate that 2-0 season with a parade that we attend. That's it. So the idea that they are going to start their season by getting blown out, it's not on the board. It is not, and I don't care, to be honest, that the Ravens have blown out a lot of teams. And I want to also be clear on this. I am not saying what I said against Buffalo. Against Buffalo, I thought it was, and Miami, unfathomable that the Chiefs lose the game. I think the Ravens are a worthy competitor with a great all-around team, a champion coach, and I think Lamar will eventually get over the Super Bowl hump, and it could happen this year. No. But a blowout is not on the board.
Let me show you. Look, 2 touchdowns. I guess that's
a blowout.
Sure. Okay. Let me show you some history, since you brought up the Chiefs' history.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, these are the 9 teams, including the Ravens. So the 8 other teams that have blown out 6 or more teams with winning records in the season all went to the Super Bowl. And in the last 39 years, since 1985, they've all won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So that speaks. There's a little history for
But that speaks to if the Ravens can win the game. I think the Ravens can win the game. I don't think they will. I do not think it is on the board of potential outcomes that the Chiefs get blown out.
Right. Can I show you another graphic? And I'll ask you this question. It's a trap.
Oh, thanks for the warning.
Well, I'm just trying to be a good teammate. Do you think Mahomes is going to play poorly?
No.
Me neither. Do you think that he's going to have a passer rating of, let's say, 80 or more? 80.
I think he
could be
in the 80s.
Yeah, it'd be in the 80s. Well, every game that they've had with Mahomes with a passer rating of 80 or more, they've won. So I know it's hard for us on TV to try to.
That was a trap. That was a great.
Is that this year?
That's this year. So if there's no chance Mahomes is going to be bad,
well, there must
and he's definitely going to have a passer rating of 80% or more, 80 or more.
Yep.
They're going to win. And none of us think he's going to go in there and lay an egg or throw the ball around carelessly.
Can we at least admit this is a different Chiefs season? This has not been the typical Chiefs season.
But that's this season.
No, but I'm just saying, this is a unique. We've never seen this from Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Yeah, but playoff Patrick.
Even the year when they did struggle early, obviously they were great late, but the offense got clicking. The offense, I don't even think it's been incredible in the playoffs. It's been better, obviously, but they did play some injury-depleted teams.
I am going to get irritated on the injury-depleted stuff.
But it is true.
Here's what's not going to happen leading into the Chiefs-Ravens game. People making pre-excuses for the Chiefs because, Ravens on a rest advantage, which they are. The Chiefs, it looks like they have one All-Pro on offense this year, Joe Thuney. He's supposed to miss the game.
And that'll be big if Thuney's out.
of course they matter, but the pre-excuses of as if the Bills were having excuses made as if they had no chance despite the fact they were the favorites. Mm-hmm. And so that part I'm not buying into. What I am buying into is that I think you have to give some ground on is it is a different Chiefs team, but that cuts both ways. Because this Chiefs team, because of the defense, Mahomes could be slowed and they win.
I wasn't that impressed with the defense last weekend.
Okay,
I thought they got ran on.
Okay, Brew, that's fine, but over
They did.
Right? Okay, so
and then there were some pass plays had the Bills made.
Okay,
they passed
Brew,
them too.
Brew, but luckily we're now to the 19th game of the season, or 20th for the Chiefs, I guess. No, 20th for the Chiefs. Brew, do the Chiefs have a great defense?
It's a very good defense.
Do the Ravens have a great defense?
Ravens have a great defense.
Okay, well, the Chiefs and Ravens defense by every metric is damn near identical. So if one's great, the other's great.
One was historical.
And so historical in what regard?
The first team ever to lead the league in scoring defense, sacks, and takeaways.
That's
the Ravens,
right?
Not the Chiefs.
No, I understand that, but that is a difference of 3 sacks and 0.8 points per game.
Whatever the case. The difference in Buffalo and the Kansas City being here is 3 points.
Fair enough.
I'm just saying
the idea that there is not an added element of they don't have to score 30 on this Ravens team to win, I think is an important element.
Patrick Mahomes is not losing. I like that.
I like his authenticity. And it does feel like you're underrating Mahomes when you say he's definitely a Hall of Famer. You think? But
do you want the question?
Yes.
Officially, Brew, is Lamar-Mahomes the real Manning-Brady rivalry?
It's certainly more Manning-Brady than Josh Allen and Mahomes is. All right, and here's why. We all presume that Lamar's going to win his second MVP. So you got 2 guys with MVP. Mm-hmm. Both of them have 2 MVPs. Both of them have 2 All-Pro awards, and obviously they've been multiple, to Pro Bowls. So you can throw Joe Burrow, Mahomes in there, and obviously Burrow beat him in the playoffs. Maybe C.J. Stroud will emerge. Who knows? So there are other potential. There are other battles that could end up being Brady Manning. We'll see how it ends up. But this is definitely more than Josh Allen Mahomes because Josh Allen, all he has is 2 Pro Bowls.
Thank you.
And I think he's great. But 2 Pro Bowls. That's it. It's not even close.
So listen, it's a better question because Lamar has some real pelts on the wall. Right. There's 2 different types of real accolades, in my opinion, you get in the NFL. Postseason success and high-level individual honors. Lamar is now 2-time, from the individual honors perspective, he has the same trophy case as Mahomes, or he will here in a couple weeks, right? He have 2 MVPs. So it's closer, but and this is not disrespectful to Lamar, I don't think Mahomes has a rival.
That's correct.
It's a Tiger Phil situation. It's a Gretzky, Lemieux, Messier situation where there is a clear-cut, unquestioned best, and then that doesn't mean they win every year. That doesn't, you know what I mean? That doesn't mean you're going to go undefeated against these guys. Doesn't mean their trophy case is going to be empty. But there's not a rivalry, and this is the problem with the contemporary when people bring up Brady-Manning. People have totally forgotten that for 15 years, that was a real argument. Oh, yeah. So that it wasn't like, so if I can just remind people of the history of it, Brady, up until 06, Brady had the 3 championships. It was 2-0 against Peyton. But Peyton at that point had 2 league MVPs. And there was real question of, okay, Brady's good, but is he great? Like, that was a real question at that point. Then Peyton beat him in 21-3 comeback, went to the Super Bowl. And from that moment forward, Brady lost to him twice in the playoffs, and they played in Denver. Brady didn't win another Super Bowl until 8 years later. Peyton went to another one in Denver. And then when the day Peyton Manning retired, the Super Bowls were 4-2 Brady. The MVPs were 5-2 Peyton, and Peyton was up 3-2 in the playoff matchups the day he retired. And it was like, well, there was a real argument. The problem is after he retired, Brady went to 3 straight Super Bowls, went to another one a couple years later, won another league MVP, and distorted the argument. But during the entirety of Peyton Manning's playing career, there was a real debate who was better. That is not the case with Patrick Mahomes if anyone's having an honest, real debate about it. So I don't think there is that rivalry.
Would you say this? If the Ravens win this game, Lamar plays well, and the Ravens go on to win the Super Bowl, do you think then it becomes a rivalry?
I think it is. I think that if Lamar wins the game, it is a rivalry in the way Mahomes-Burrow. I consider that a rivalry, but as far as, hey, he beat you, you got to go beat him, all that stuff. Yeah. I don't consider it a rivalry where the stakes are the best quarterback in the world. I don't think that title's up for grabs for the time being.
I would agree with that, but I do look, if Lamar gets the Super Bowl, now he's got one fewer Super Bowl than Mahomes. Yep. And the same number of MVPs.
And Mahomes would have, because this is their first time playing in the playoffs, Mahomes wouldn't have beaten him in the playoffs. So, yes, it would at least be, you could posit the argument.
I think people would be now, I think everybody still recognize Mahomes, for the most part, is the best player in the league. But I think, like, going into next year, it would be like
prove it next year
the two best quarterbacks in the league.
Yes,
let's see.
I agree with that.
Okay. Ravens safety Marcus Williams. I don't know if that counts. Brew, we've seen Mahomes thrive on bulletin board material. I don't consider
the board is sensitive.
That's a great
point. Wait, no, hold on. You don't know what's going to happen.
Well,
this is just out here to inform Brew's answer to the question you're going to ask.
Brew, is this a good idea? Which I don't consider that trash talk, but.
I don't really consider that trash talk. No. What I'll say is this. If the Ravens do, I don't expect them to talk trash. If they do, it will not give me pause. It will not make me worry. It will not make me scared.
See, really? That's why I brought this out.
It will not. No.
It's a graveyard.
The Ravens are not a silly franchise.
True.
When they talk trash, if they talk trash, they know what they're doing and they're prepared to back it up. When the Cowboys talk trash, that's just what they do. That's their culture, and they're not going to necessarily back it up. All right? The Bills, when they talk trash, their culture's shaky. That's what they do. They're not necessarily going to back it up. When the Niners went to the Eagles and talked trash, guess what? They weren't worried. They backed it up. So Ravens aren't going to come out and just start a boatload of trash. But I'm just saying, if they do, this thing is going to be settled on the field, and it's not going to be because they said something.
So listen, I think the Ravens are a smart team that desperately wants to win this game, which is why they're being so cautious with their words. You heard what Lamar said. Lamar could not have been more complimentary. I did not think Marcus Williams was saying bulletin board worthy things, which is why he is not on the board. Roquan Smith will play you the sound. Roquan flirted with it, looked at it, was getting ready to buy it a drink, and then said, you know what, I'm not going to do it. Hear from Roquan Smith. So it's smart. He's exactly right, which is why he's not on the board.
Do you think that was even flirty?
When he said he puts his pants on the way everybody else does, he could have gone in one direction.
That's a literal fact.
Okay, well, do we know that? I'm not sure. And so the point I'm making is, thus far, the Ravens have been very smart. The Ravens have avoided what is, ended maybe Sirianni's career, A.J. Brown's time in Philly, who knows? I mean, there's Micah Parsons' podcast, Josh Allen, Deion Dawkins, Colin Cowherd, he's doing well, but still, come on, Greg Jennings, a lot. Okay. The only person who's still on there is Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And that's because he switched conferences, went to Detroit. So we'll see.
In a few days.
So, yeah, it's smart. Thus far, they're playing it well.
It's not Friday, but it's a good tease.
Early edition?
Are the 49ers on upset alert next on First Things First and Fox Sports Radio on SiriusXM.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.